Hello. Even making this outline made me sad. It saddens me for very many reasons. And it's a tricky little spot, isn't it? This is a tricky little spot because oftentimes the narcissist does bring home to you if they've had a rotten time out there in the world today. The world gave them a hard day. And then they bring it home to you. And then this is the part that saddens me. It happens more than you realize. The victim internalizes it to be their fault that the narcissist had a bad day. Think about that for a minute. Now, if none of you have been in that situation, I'm shocked. Because they've cultivated you having that response. It lessens their burden if you take the blame for their bad day. In some way. Yes, I am serious. They certainly won't take the blame. And if it's not you who they want to take the blame, it's somebody that they encountered during the day that they want to take the blame. But they definitely want you to absorb some of it. They want you internalizing their bad day as your fault is just money in the bank for them because now they have that control over you during this conversation. You're not going to get lippy and say, well, are you sure you didn't talk back to your boss? They don't want you in that space. They want you in their space. Their stories are going to have a slant. So what does that mean? Probably what? A half-truth at best. But remember, as your narcissist is telling you about their day and what made them have a bad day, remember, your narcissist is a narcissist. I know, it's funny, right? But say that out loud again. Your narcissist is a narcissist. They're not a narcissist with you, but all better at work. They're not narcissistic behaviorally just in romantic entanglements, but the rest of their life is copaesthetically perfectly normal and non-disordered. Your narcissist is a narcissist. They're not fine with their family. That narcissism, that disorder part of it, that had to have reared its head in some capacity in some relationships I'm sure that they've had within their own family. They're not a narcissist with you, but non-disordered with friends. People catch on. They are always a narcissist. So if they come home saying they had a bad day and they're trying to tell you what happened, they're probably lying all within that, and they probably did something to cause or wreak havoc because they felt like chaos. So then they're coming home grumpy and then attributing it to something bad that happened. And let me tell you, I want to tell you, because they want you to feel bad for them. But let me tell you, I want to share with you my day. You always make me feel so supported. They want you to feel bad for them. So they're going to come at it as an angle as, I'm going to share this with you. Aren't I wonderfully evolved? You know, when I think about it, and all they're after is pity, right? They want pity and love and comfort. When I think about it, it kills me because guess what? They did something. They did something wrong. And no, I'm not with every narcissist everywhere they are in life. But if they come home grumpy and out of sorts, they did something wrong. It's too easy. They did something to someone at some point in any one of the situations I mentioned. Work, family, friends. And they brought whatever it is upon themselves. I cannot help but think that's the way that it goes for them. They have a bad day and they bring it home to you. If it has to do with work, guess what? They probably stepped on someone and were caught. Stole someone's idea. Fell short on a project. Blamed others. Someone challenged them. You know, they're not, the people they work with, they're not in the narcissist web. So the narcissist can't control those people. They're not in their web like you. Yes, narcissists very oftentimes go all the way to the top of the food chain and they're CEOs and they're stepping on people to get there. But they come and go in and out of those people's lives. Yeah, they'll take what they want and they might make something happen bad to somebody. But what I mean for the most part is they're not in the web of the narcissist, so they can get challenged. Say you never challenge a narcissist. You don't think people at work are challenging this hot-headed narcissist? Of course they are. They're not bowing down to him. He's not their narcissist. He's a narcissist, but they haven't been love-bombed by him. Now, they do essentially love-bomb everybody to get people on their side, right? That's what they do. They charm everybody, but it's not the same as a romantic entanglement, and they do get challenged. That'll make them have a bad day. Family, friends, think it all the way through. They come home and they're counting on you, believing whatever they tell you. They're counting on that for you to listen and believe their side. Yet, this is the same person who will try to get people to believe them about the negative things they're eventually going to say about you behind your back to gain those flying monkeys once you part ways. But right now, they want you to believe them. Even though later they're going to come up with all these lies about you. I mean, that's part of their dishonesty. I don't mean to go off on a tangent on that, but it's so funny to me. Because someone who lies is someone who lies, right? So fast forward your future as it happened. If it hasn't happened to you yet, you will get to the point that they do smear you. We've talked about that a lot. And they'll talk bad about you behind your back because they can't take blame for the breakup and you have to take all the responsibility. Just like you do for this bad day they're having. Well, that's a lying person. Well, right now they're trying to make you believe them about what happened today. Chances are there's lies all in throughout their story as well. Again, they're not honest in one section right now telling you about their bad day, but they lie later when they're talking bad about you, or they lie when they're telling you they weren't out and they were, or they lie when that. A liar is a liar is a liar. And a narcissist is so habitual with lying that it, I think, is woven throughout every word and angle of their life. That's a habit. Don't tell me lying can't become a habit when you do it that much. I'm sure it can. And oftentimes, okay, if they've had a bad day, the only way they can feel better is to devalue you. To get back to that. To bully you. The night is going to now unfold in a way that you hadn't planned. You may have fixed a nice dinner. You may have had plans to go out with friends. You may have friends coming over for dinner. And now, how many times has that happened? Now you're dealing with this narcissist and you're thinking, oh my God, please, I hope he snaps out of this. They're going to be here in an hour. And he's screaming, going up and down the hallways at you, so you're taking that while he's talking about his day. And I can't believe you planned this, and I didn't know you were going to have a bet. Well, you should have asked me. I mean, it can grow into this huge blowout fight. And then they'll feel better because they got some of it out. But guess who took it? You. And guess who's going to be all smiles when the people get here? Him. And guess who's going to be still a little riled up? You. So you did internalize it because you caught it. You caught the outward reaction that he's going to end up having in some capacity, and now you internalized it. How could you go on and have a great night like nothing happened? He just screamed at you for 20 minutes. You have to remember, too, this is sadistic behavior. It's cruel, and you are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It has nothing. This bad treatment has nothing to do with you. When they come home and they just, I had a bad day, and then they just take it out. This has nothing to do with you. They have zero, and by zero I mean zero idea how to self-soothe, how to feel better about themselves by themselves. They need to go outside themselves to gain what they need. They've never learned how to cope, how to deal independently with anything, let alone a bad day. They need to feel better, and this is how they do it. In any one of the ways I mentioned. Devalue you, cause a fight for a little bit, tell you about their day, pretend they're being honest and sharing under the guise of that, and then just let you pity them and comfort them. They're going to manipulate it so that they can feel better, because this is how they do it. They can't do it independently aside from other people. It has to be, they have to get it from you. That's why they call them emotional vampires. They have to suck from you to feed themselves. Achieve a feeling that they're going for. They need you for that. They need external sources for that. Another person for that. Can you imagine that? Never being able to self-soothe. We learn that as infants. We learn that in infancy, how to self-soothe, right? All we have is ourselves on this earth, really, with us all the time. If you can't self-soothe and manage your own day as an adult, I wonder what that feels like, even going through life like that. Do you know what I mean? They need to feel better, and this is how they do it. They're completely dependent upon other people to fulfill whatever need they seek filled at that time. And most actions they take are very calculated to feed the addiction they're needing met, feeling they're needing met at the time, whether or not they even know it. We know it. We know too much. We can spot this behavior now. I think next time your narcissist comes home, many of you are still in the relationships, pay attention if they're in a bad mood and they're trying to take it out on you. I don't encourage anyone to challenge, because I don't know your situation. And God, I hope none of you are in a physical situation. But I don't want you yelled at. I don't want somebody name calling you. I don't want to make any of that happen. So I'm not trying to challenge you. I'm mouthy. I challenged. I'm not quiet. But I was up for a fight, I guess, when I did that. I knew it was coming. Maybe I was craving adrenaline. Addicted to drama. I've worked on that for years. But I had to learn that about myself. By the way, that's one of my self-evolution things. I was. And I figured out why, and then I've handled that now. And I'm not addicted to drama anymore, but I was just ripened to fight with this guy when it came to it. I was not afraid. I wasn't. To speak my mind. But I don't know your situation. It could be tenuous. And I'm sure mine could have been tenuous, but I just wasn't, I don't know, I felt comfortable. There's no way. I was not a quiet, narcissistic abuse victim. I did the opposite of everything they tell you. So when they come home from a bad day and they're telling you about it, my point was going to be, I just digressed, but my point was going to be, you can come back at them any way that you want. Again, I'm not saying challenge, but you don't have to be so full of pity and comfort and love and acceptance and believing them. And you can be cordial. You can listen. Okay, you feel better? Okay, I'm going to go finish dinner. They didn't get anything from you. You didn't offer them a Band-Aid. You didn't do anything to get them mad. I bet they'd chase you into the kitchen until you gave them a Band-Aid. I bet they'd chase you into the kitchen. Well, did you hear what I said? I mean, what do you think? You think that was right that he did that? I mean, it was my idea, and he's telling the VP that it was his. Part of you probably wants to go, really? Did you sneak into his room, his office, after work one day and steal it to begin with? I'm just coming up with things, but you follow what I mean? You don't have to feed what they're chasing from you. They're bringing it home to you because they want something from you. Normal, non-disordered people, they come home and have a bad day. They want to bounce it off each other so they can, get it out in the open. And this is what happened to me today. And maybe each partner sheds a perspective on it. The other one might not have seen, plays devil's advocate. They work it out. He feels better. She feels better. Everyone's fine. That's not what the narcissist is doing. They're not looking for a constructive conversation that might allow them to then go in the next day and make amends and be productive and see it a different way. They're not seeking a new light to be able to see it. No. They want you to bring them joy. They want to bring it home to you so you can bring them comfort, so they can release it. That's what they're after. So be aware of it, and as they're doing that next time, don't let it bother you. It has zero to do with you. It has nothing to do with you, and you did nothing wrong, and you know it, and he knows it. And don't let him say it or indicate it. One little phrase, catch it, and again, I'm not trying to tell you what to say, but if they, if you just started me out with the right pants I wanted for the meeting, why didn't you iron them like I wanted? These pants don't make me feel lucky. I really wanted the gray ones. I bet if I had the gray ones on, it wouldn't have gone. They'll say something really twisted to make you think it's your fault. Don't allow that. That's nonsense. The pants certainly was nonsense, but that can happen. It's nonsense. You weren't even there with them today. I'm so fresh. I'm sassy. I probably would have said, if that were me, I probably would have said, oh, I'm glad to think I would have that much power over you that I affect your day when I'm not even present. Good on me. Because I was getting really fresh towards the end. And I don't recommend sassiness. But that's probably how I would have handled that. Don't allow them to make you think that you had anything to do with it. You are not responsible for them having a good or bad day. They're an adult.